Good evening, everybody, or good afternoon, evening. Welcome back, everybody. Tonight we're going to be doing, and I hope our technical crew has got the can hear us pretty good. If y'all can hear us, let us know also. There's been some times that we've it's muffled. How's this? Maybe we should talk louder. Is that okay?
Does that sound any better?
Sound doing good. Making sure we sound pretty good. Chili is here. Lots of adventures. Louise, Dwayne, Bernice, Scott. Microphone problems are contagious. Yes, they are. Jim. And we got your email today, Jim, and we're glad that you have that gift, and we're glad that you're going to be watching it this weekend. Oxy Jasper. So tonight we're going to start with the word of prayer, which is palabra de oración, words of prayer, and then we're going to do the announcement, the annunciations, and then we're going to begin with our lesson tonight of Spider and the Bigfoot. De arañas y el patón, esta noche. Entonces, TrackerElla habla palabra de oración, más tarde anunciaciones y de esta noche.
Father, thank you for this opportunity to speak to people, for the people that you put in our path. We thank you for giving us discernment, and we pray your hand of protection and covering over everyone listening now and over everyone who will listen. And we ask that you bind the eyes, the ears, and the mouths of the enemy so that they cannot interfere with this knowledge getting out. Lord, we ask that each person take what they learn here back to you and pray about it so that they will understand what is the message that we are trying to get out. We thank you and we love you in Jesus' name.
Okay. Palabra de oración, TrackerElla. Entonces, ahora es anunciaciones y the lesson. So we're going to do the announcements, and then we're also going to be doing, we'll do a quick comment check-in, make sure everybody's here, and then we're going to do our announcements, and then we're going to have the lesson for the night, which is spiders and the Bigfoot, arañas y el patón. And thank you everybody for coming back and for another session. We'd like to start off with the announcements.
We have 3 Facebook pages: Oklahoma Bigfoot Predator Watch, Antlers and Surrounding Areas. We have the Choctaw Missing and Murdered Woman, WOMBMAN, and Son Center and Database, and also the Lead TrackerElla Facebook pages. And we have another channel which is also called Lead Tracker E, and that's on YouTube. And we will mirror many of the same channels, or many of the same videos together. And hello everyone, glad you're here.
Also, the Bigfoot documentary, the CashApp, is Aurora. They Documente El Paton, oh, El Paton, Documente. Yeah.
Our post office box, if you would like to write to us, is P.O. Box 655, Antlers, Oklahoma 74543.
Also, Jim has received his DVD, and we put it in the comments. We're glad that you got it. Very happy to help you. Maybe answer or fill in a couple little missing parts. And also Cherie, we'll get that out. We're actually trying to reformat everything since we have internet now. A friend got us a little spot to help us out. And we're just changing services. We're trading services. So we're going to be doing some tracking out there, and we're going to talk about that area also.
Email addresses are lead tracker E at all lowercase, lead LEAD tracker E at gmail.com, or capital Jerry, capital Williams 1927 at outlook.com if you'd like to email us. If you would like to look out from your doors, we are doing something called remote assessments. We don't want to see your house. We want to see what you see when you look outside of your house. Is there activity going on in your tree line? If you need help to recognize if that's going on, then send us a short video under 2 minutes, and we will help you take a look.
Actually, 30-second.
They can barely hear us. You need to put this on. We're working on the audio issue. Tonight we will be talking about spiders and Bigfoot. Can y'all hear us any better?
Maybe we just put it like this. Can you hear us any better? How about now if we put the microphone up here? Lisa Lou, can you hear us? Jim, how are we coming in? Let us know. We may just hold this up and talk like this whenever we need to.
So it's good. Our apologies. It says it sounds like it's in a pan.
All right, let me.
Lisa Lou says it's frozen.
Uh-oh.
Is this audio any better? Hey, Lisa Lou, glad you made it.
And now we're
Now
freezing.
we're freezing up. Okay.
So it may not be us.
We specifically pray against any technical interference.
How about now? Anything? Anything? Are we better? Are we better? And Lisa Lou had a hard time getting on.
Can you see this one?
And also about our audio is
The video is freezing, but focus on sound.
okay. Okay. How are we with sound?
Is that any better?
Escuchar poco o grande? He said just a little better.
Okay, Jim, be careful. Oh no, you're saying the DVD. I'm sorry. Good. I thought you were having to check out. The mic in your hand is not doing anything.
Okay. So
Uno momento. I know that one. Give us just a moment
no.
to figure it out.
yeah, this is okay.
Audio is good. Picture is freezing.
Audio is good. Picture is freezing. How is this audio here now? We want to make sure. Maybe do I have one of us have to wear the headphones? Can you hear us good now? Live is freezing as well. Let us go off, and then we're going to come right back. I mean, probably you can't hear me, but we're going. Yo regreso un momento. We're going to try to return and try to come back. I mean, we could type it too. Okay. Now the sound was working a little while ago, so we're going to, okay, here we go. We're going to be right back.
And then Scott says they got that. That they heard.
Sí. Gracias, CT. We're back. Hello. Can anybody hear us?
Is that better?
Do we sound better? If not, I'm going to tweak just a few little things. How are we sounding? Can anybody hear us without sounding like we're in a can? Anybody? Anybody? Audio was good. Hey. All right. So.
Okay, good. Okay.
Okay. Let's try it like this also.
Is that still working? Now is it still working? And now the video is freezing again?
So does the audio. Can you hear the audio? If we speak a little bit, awesome sauce. Okay. Okay, good sound. Now, was that the good sound when I had the headphones on, or are we okay now? If we're okay now, we can begin. We can, okay. Now, I think I just had to reboot and everything.
Okay, sounds good.
Okay, great. Okay, tonight we are talking about spiders and the connection with the Bigfoot. The spider DNA, the arañas, el patón, mutations, the spider story. We're going to start off with a little history. Now, we're going to show you the Aztec stone, the Aztec sunstone. Now, the spider is in the sunstone also. It's also on the, I'm sorry, that was the Egyptian Dendra zodiac. You know, I think there's supposed to be a button up here to change this to, oh, no. We do the subtitles after the add-on with YouTube. We can't do it right now on StreamYard. The Egyptian Dendra zodiac. Egyptian Dendra zodiac. The spider is in the Egyptian Dendra zodiac. It's in the Aztec sunstone. Map of the universal. Map of the universe, and the spider is not from Earth. It's what people would consider an alien. The predator DNA is not from Earth. We are not supposed to have predator animals, predator people, predator fish, predator birds. We're not supposed to have that. In the Egyptian Dendra zodiac, in the up part of approximately Ahura, the key, Ahura, the piercing, let me see. Okay.
One moment.
I didn't write it down. But entonces, the Egyptian Ginger Zodiac is a key. Para the arañas piercing, arañas claw is a key. The rojos appendage, dirt, is the runner's appendage is the key. I'll reverse, up, the key. I'll reverse, the key. The rolls. Oh, yeah. Good. So, the otro photo, the key, the Aztec sunstone, the piercing, mismo aquí. The piercing of the spider of earth. Yeah, in the Bigfoot DVD documentary, documenting the arañas primera palabras, the primera palabras in de la El Paton documente, CashApp aquí, para the historia of the arañas aquí, diferente historia, nosotros, the people teach us. We have a different story that is taught, and it has to do with the spider attacking Earth, giant spiders, big as Earth, big as planets, giant spiders attacking Earth and coming here and changing DNAs that are here. It's in the hieroglyphs, the Aztec sunstone, the Egyptian Dendra zodiac, and we're going to show you where they are in the hieroglyphs, so that you can look at the hieroglyphs and know this story and know that the Bigfoot has the DNA of the predator spider, and that the only there's no good Bigfoots. There's no good predators. There are some that are mostly vegetarian. They still eat meat, still drink blood as the regular ones. But there are some that don't eat as many people as other ones. So we're showing you where they are. The spider, now the spider is an appendage. It's a piercing. A spider will pierce its food and then eat it. That's how a spider eats. They'll pierce and pull, like a crab. But the red piercing is all you're going to get in the Dendra zodiac. This is all they're going to show you. That's all you're going to see. You have to know that that is a spider piercing that entered into Earth in the story, The Legend of Time. We talk about that, and it's the first story in the Bigfoot documentary. If you haven't heard that story, it's the first thing that starts off. It talks about the comets coming, 3 comets coming. You'll find that in history. But these were spiders with their legs behind them coming down. And then eating here. Also that piercing, the red piercing. Next to it is a serpent. A big serpent. And then next to that are people or hybrids of people with tails. So that's the DNA. That's the spider, the piercing. And then the serpent. And then eating people. And that story is in it is the first story that starts off the Bigfoot documentary, the entire story. And it's talking about everything that's in the hieroglyphs. The piercing. Now in the Aztec sunstone, the man-child in the photo, in the image, the man-child getting pierced in the left eye is the symbol for Earth. The man-child is Earth in the hieroglyph. The word world means body, and the word body means Earth. In the hieroglyph, the young man-child is called Earth, and is being pierced in the left eye by the sun god, the Aztec sun god. The Aztec sun god has his tongue sticking out. The Aztec sun god is also called the Sun King or the second sun. If the spider produces a light, and these are giant spiders, so it looks like a sun. It produces the sun glow light. So it's called the second sun or the sun king. Now this piercing is in this hieroglyph also. Now the Aztec sunstone is actually in Mexican hieroglyphs. Those are Mexican hieroglyphs. And they're not found on the face of the Aztec sunstone. They're found on the side of the Aztec sunstone. So the information is no key. The information is a key. The Aztec sunstone. A key is mismo, tiempo, seasonal, different tiempos. Aztec sunstone. Para is Mexican information. Mexican information, Aztec sunstone. But it's called the Aztec sunstone. Now, when the spider pierced Earth in the left eye, that our world was turned upside down and backwards. And if anybody has seen a spider attack prey, they'll bite out the neck or the best possible place and then try to roll it over and then bend it backwards if possible and put a web on it, start sealing it. Now the piercing of the Aztec sunstone god or second sun or sun god piercing Earth. Earth is known as the man-child. There's some art from the Bigfoot documentary. This piercing also in the sun, another piercing, and you can find these piercings at 12 o'clock north, 45 degrees north of north, north by northwest. That piercing, that spider piercing, this piercing is also shown here. Now, this picture that we're showing you right now is a Chinese airplane who took a picture. They know, they see it. It's over there. You can see it in that area. And it's a big piercing. It's a big appendage in the sky. And I've seen it myself, and that's why I have this painting. And to me, when I seen it, it didn't make sense until I looked at the hieroglyphs again. Because it's only showing that little appendage. That's all it's showing in the hieroglyph. So now this makes sense. This little pierce makes sense. This little pierce makes sense now. But the Chinese had actually taken a photo. They could have taken a better photo. But you're not supposed to get a clear photo. You're only going to get this much or that much. You have to know what it is. If you don't know, they're not going to show you the entire thing. They're not going to teach you the entire history. Let me check to make sure we got audio still. Okay, good. We said audio, right? So this information about the piercing of Earth and the trauma that Earth is in, and that the Aztec sunstone calendar, December 21, 2012, has passed, and that was supposed to be the judgment time of the entire world, of all the predators. If they have changed, if they are living good, they stay. But you also have to have at least one good truth-telling person in this world. That's why we're all taught to lie, cheat, steal, cut deals, go behind somebody's back, try to get over on somebody. We're taught to lie and cheat and steal. We're not taught the truth. We're not taught to speak the truth. So whenever we speak like this, it doesn't make sense. And some people, it's hard for them to get this information because they've never had it before. But the governments know. They know about the Bigfoots, the hybrids, the walking wolves. They know about them. They use them. But they won't tell you about the spider and the spider DNA. Now, I'm going to show you this picture again. It's a military jet taking a picture. You know what it is. I'm going to show you the piercing of the artwork first, again, and then I'm going to show you the jet. Now, if you didn't know all this before, this picture would not make sense to you. So here, I'm going to go over it again until we get to that jet. Now this is the photo of the appendage that is sticking out of the sky. You can't see what's past that. That's the only piece that is piercing through the filament. That is a spider's appendage that is sticking out of what people would think of as just sticking out of the sky. It's like people think it's a triangle. But no, it's a piercing. It's a spider's pierce that has brought predator DNA to our world. And it's still there. The history said that this spider is dying. It's almost dead. It's not going to live like the eternal. But it's failing. And so there's this last kind of push. But Earth is still strong. Mother Moon is right there. The energy is still strong. We all know. So we keep our knowledge and spiritual energies to help Earth and help the Moon and Sun, and which helps us. We keep ourselves strong by sharing our energy with Earth. But that appendage that was in the sky is real. It is there. If every day, because I took it in April. I caught that in April. I caught this piercing in April. I seen it with my own eyes. This is what it was. But at 12 o'clock at the North Star, just a little 45 degree off of that, at 12 o'clock every day, if you take a picture, you're gonna see this. You're gonna see this in the sky. And if you didn't know what that was, you would never know. You would delete your photo. It's something that it doesn't make sense. And a lot of people has deleted it, not knowing what it was. But that is the spider's appendage in our Earth, or the Earth's left eye. And the Earth's left eye. We left this information for us right now. We wrote it in stone so everyone would remember, everyone would know, and so everyone could know. All you had to do is read the hieroglyphs, which we just showed you a portion of how to read that. Now here's another hieroglyph we want to show you. You're going to find interesting. Now this is an old hieroglyph also. And that chain, that's that chain, that link to all predators. This creature was tried to be used as a slave. And you can see the longer hands that it's got. You can see the claws. You can see the dome, the muckish face. But that being chained up right there in the back just means that it's a link. It's a chain. It's a connection to all the other giant and all, because you're seeing this with giants. Giant DNA, predator DNA. It's not a man. It never was. It has eaten man to be like us, to be man-like or kind of like man. But this is a predator, and its only job is to eat everything. And those are in the hieroglyphs. Now we're gonna, I want to show you a Bigfoot real fast, and then we're going to go over some characteristics. And those characteristics, just understand that that spider DNA is in that Bigfoot. It's in that walking wolf. It's in that Mothman. It's in that chupacabra. It's in that little creatures. It's in, and Bigfoots don't have to be 40 foot. They don't have to be 25, 15. They can be 5 foot. They can be 3 foot, 2 foot. Even those little ones are very vicious and very dangerous. They're taught to kill. They're not taught to wrestle and play. They're taught this jugular, this neck bone, this backbone, this right arm, this right leg, because they know that the blood comes back up to the right side. If you get that right arm off, all the blood's coming up, and you can, or they could just drink the blood that's coming back up. Or the same with the leg, because of the vein that comes up in the thigh is that full forced blood flow. If you've been in the military or anything, you know that if you do cut somebody there, that they will bleed out in 5 minutes, because it's just a vein that shoots blood. So you will find the missing right leg and the missing right arm, and the missing intestines, the soft tissues, the heart, the lungs, the intestines, the liver. That is the life flow that is inside. That is the heart pumping. That's the oxygen. That's the minerals. That's the nutrients. So they will take that, and you will notice that if it is a Bigfoot kill, it will be a clean kill. It won't have blood all over the place. It won't have blood around the whole carcass, because that's their meal. That's their first meal. The meat of a horse, the meat of a dog, the meat of a cow, that can lay out there, season, ferment, loosen up. But you'll also notice that the ravens, the crows, won't eat that unless they have permission to. Now here's one of the tools that the Bigfoot uses, and these are hitting tools, but this is also the same image as the piercing. These Bigfoots know to use these sharp points. Monkeys know how to use the sharp points to break things. So we have to get to the understanding that it's not that they're full of intelligence, that they've been doing this for millions of years. They know what works. They know what don't. You're not the first person to come across. You're not the special one. You're not the first one to communicate with these things. Once they've eaten somebody or that person has moved, they'll find another one. You're not the first one. If you're communicating with them, you're their mill. They have you, and they tell the other ones, "This is mine. Don't mess with this one." They can bring me gifts. They can come outside. They can do whatever they want. They can walk down the road, no fear. Don't worry about it. That's mine. But when you make that connection, even with a demon, their only goal is to consume you and your energy. That's what they want. That's the only goal. We want to now these Bigfoots, these predators, these walking wolves, Mothmen, chupacabras, all of these hybrids of predators mimic the big Bigfoots. They sound like thunder. You know, they can make that loud sound. The small ones, they sound like the tree frogs, crickets. The other ones, they sound like a chainsaw, an airplane, somebody cutting wood in the forest, voices, coyotes. They can mimic dogs, cats, everything. So I want to let you hear a Bigfoot that's sounding like an owl. So you know this sound. These spider DNA Bigfoots only job is to drink blood and eat flesh. That's it. It's all about food, nothing more. They're going to consume everything if you let them. They mimic other animals to get your to lull you into a self what's it called? A false sense of security. They want you to think that nothing's wrong outside. That's why you hear the crickets, the tree frogs, the locusts, occasional different kind of birds, and then it all goes quiet. But they do that to also cause a little fear, but they're also getting you to, when you do feel fear, you back up. You say, okay, it's time to go. Something's not right here. But that, when they go all quiet like that, that's also because you're too close. You don't see the translucent one. You don't see the one in the bushes that you're just about to, if you keep walking in that direction. Because when that forest goes quiet, everyone always stops. Everyone listens. Any animal in that area will do the same thing. They want to know why everything is quiet. That is also in the Bigfoot documentary. That reason. It's called the Bigfoot Symphony. That is information is also in the Bigfoot documentary. So we're going to listen to an owl, but it's not an owl. Don't think it's an owl. But we want you to listen to this so that you understand how close they mimic. Okay, that was not an owl. That was a Bigfoot pretending, mimicking the sound of an owl. Now I'm going to also let you listen to the mimic of a dog and pay attention to the different sounds. You can hear them, and the dogs understand. Dogs, they know the difference. Okay, and now here's another one. I want you to hear this also. Okay, so let me try this real fast. I also want to now one of our new trackers um, has been experiencing quite a bit in their location. In this next clip, one of our tracker is you can hear the calmness of our tracker, but she has a friend with her who, when we first met, he kind of when we were talking about Bigfoot, he was like, Bigfoot, come on now, Bigfoot. And so we let him see a little bit of DVD, and we talked to him about it, and if these things are real. So he got the opportunity to come out for a week, not with us, but with the other tracker. And you're going to hear it, and we'll play it twice because I want you to see a couple things and listen to a couple of things that this our tracker D, she was out, and she had her friend with her visiting. So you're gonna hear, listen to the voices also, not just everything that's going on, but listen to their voices. You're gonna hear. Actually, he's our friend also, but this caught him off guard. He knows about him now, but when we talk about Bigfoot, people don't know about it or haven't researched and know that these things are real. You're going to hear that his words get all jumbled up because he's caught off guard. He knows about them now for sure, and he's like us now. He comes outside. He wants to make sure he looks around, make sure he's not caught off guard, checks his areas, things like that. So he has learned a lot. A lot of first-time experienced people. Now this was different because he knew about it. We told him about it. We shared information with him. But if you was a person who got lost or got in these woods or was just visiting a friend and got over the mountain and heard these things, or they followed you back. But we're going to show you one of our trackers. They just reported in also sent us this clip. We have another clip from another tracker also. We're going to show you, but right now I want to play this one twice. But this first one, just listen, and then we'll play it again.
The house. Yeah.
Oh, we're safe. I got a good rifle in the house, like a semi-automatic.
The judge is in there.
That's coming from up there now.
Okay, and as you've seen or heard, actually, one of our trackers, Tracker D says, I got my other weapon in the house. They had smaller weapons, smaller calibers, but after their week there, they decided they need a little larger caliber weapon, which we agreed on. They changed their cams up, taking more precautions. But this was not his first experience with the sounds and everything, but this was the first time it was so close to him. Now after, I'm going to play this one more time so you can hear everything going on. You can hear the way his words got messed up because this caught him off guard. And also, he thinks he's safe. He thinks they're close enough back to the house. They're out of the woods. This is what he's thinking. And then you can hear him say, okay, we're safe now. But then again, it just hits loud and they know it's close to them. And then I want to show you a picture because the last of this film, if you was to stop the last of this film on the last frame, you're going to see that they turned around, turned to the back, and there's a couple of Bigfoots back there. But we got the clearest one that we could. I mean, some of our viewers for a while, you would understand or you would know what we're looking at. So we have new viewers, so we're just doing the first, the most visible that follow them back. But we'll show that clip one more time. This is a friend, two friends, and they got followed back whenever they were doing a hike.
The house. Yeah.
Oh, we're safe. I got a good rifle in the house, like a semi-automatic.
Mommy. The judge is in there.
That's coming from up there now.
This is a picture. Now, after they filmed that, they turned around and just and they turned it off as soon as they, got back there, and then they went on and what they were doing. But they didn't realize that when they turned back this way, that they was filming the Bigfoots that were following them back, and all those sounds that were really close. But here's the clearest one that we could get for you. Now, if we sent it to some of our trackers and everything, they would be looking at all the images, the outlines, the shadow on shadow. We know how to look, so they would be doing the same way. But for viewers who hasn't had the training or doesn't have the DVD, we're going to show you this. This is the clearest that we can get on this, but we know it's Bigfoot. You just heard what that was. So here's that clear photo. Now this is the Bigfoot that has followed them back. If you just heard their whistles, their calls, you heard it a little further back. Those calls, those whistles that you heard, those were a little further back. And we were telling people that when you hear calls way back in the back, it's only for two reasons. It's for them to pull back, to give them cover for the sound to pull back, to crawl back, because your group may be trackers, they may have weapons, may be loaded down, so that will give them cover to pull back. And they'll make noises like that so that these close ones won't get stepped on, the translucent ones, or to advance. And this happens at campfires at night, when people are talking. They'll hear that out in those mountains when you get that campfire, or if you're walking also, it's to help them get closer to you. And these got closer. So I also want to show you this real fast, that the Bigfoot will sit in trees, just like over there. When they're translucent, when the Bigfoots are in those trees and look like this, or they look like this, there'll be that translucent look. So you have to know how they sit in the trees, where the best possible viewing area of you and your family is. Also, that they're not going to be all the time as real close. They're going to be out there in those trees, like in this picture right here. This is what we're showing you, like the Bigfoot is in that tree in the middle at one of the highest points of the trees to get the best look at your house. And they can be, tree upon tree. So always look into the trees. Look past that first tree. Look to that second tree. Then look through that tree. Look past it. You can do it. They'll get you a good visible. Don't let those first trees distract you. Look through those trees. Look through those branches. See the next one, and then see the next one. But they will be in that furthest tree just like that, or they will be in a tree sitting just like this. They'll have a little branch there. They'll be holding to the top, have their claws into it, sit there all day and watch you.
You have to be looking straight.
Now that we have our video. Now we can. Now these Bigfoots also, you have to know how they're going to do it. Now Bigfoots, when they're going to be running like this on all fours, their hind legs are real short. The juveniles are awkward. They run like this, the awkward ones. And that's just because they have like a human proportion. When they come into the adult area, their legs stay the same and the top part grows so that when it drops over, it's a perfect short legs for that creature, for that beast to run, to move fast, and they do move fast. Now in the very top, that shows you how the Bigfoot will hold and lay at the very bottom of those trees. They're going to look like black stumps or black rocks. Like in that middle, that second tree over there in the middle, they'll also stand in front of trees and be translucent. You can have small ones like that also. But in both of these trees, these are Bigfoots that are hanging or in the position of upside down. They are Hasira Arriba. They're upside down in the trees, and they'll be on the back side of the trees. Let's see, I had it. Yeah, they'll be on the back side of the trees. So you'll have a tree just like this, and you'll have the Bigfoot like this, just enough to look over at you, just enough to look. But that's where it'll be. It'll be just big enough to see you. So it'll be just enough to see you. Or the Bigfoot will be upside down in the tree. It'll be upside down on the back of that tree. Like that. Let me try this one. Now here's another one. sounds funny. Not trying to be funny, but yeah, that one's got a smile. I better not play. But the Bigfoots will position themselves in the trees and take the silhouette off. You take the silhouette off of the tree and you won't see it because you're looking for a body that's like this. You're looking for the body to be looking this way, but even that furry one, they will line up too. And they will hook their legs at an angle so it gives that proportion of like the back end of a spider in the tree. And if you look, it looks like the back end of a spider pointing downwards, upside down. Here, arriba, El Paton. Now, the more if I left this up, the more it would blend in. The more that we would. But that's exactly how they will sit or lay in the trees. It will be upside down. Here, arriba. They'll be at the bottom of the trees. They'll be at the bottom of the trees. You think it's a rock, or it'll be like that, or even like that. So now we're going to talk a little bit about the attributes, the similarities. So I'm going to have TrackerElla also tell you about some traits and things like that.
One of the most important traits is the no neck, and also the spider crawl, the way they hunt. They hunt by setting traps. They build their corrals through the forest. They set it up like circles, and it radiates out like spider webs. Or be it a trap here, a trap here, a trap here, getting bigger and bigger. They have a bite like fire. They have a paralyzing bite. We talk about that in the DVD. They have the hair. They have multiple eyes. Do we have that picture of the eyes?
No.
They will also use the spider webs. If they have a path through the forest, the spider webs go across, and if you are walking through the spider webs and breaking them, they know that someone came through there, and they know how tall whatever came through there is. If it's a high spider web and you push through it, now they know something's on that path. They do the spider crawl. Do you have that picture? Just show it. The spider crawl is what it's known. It's very, very creepy looking. They stick to the shadows in the darkness like spiders do. They can suspend upside down like spiders do. They can cling to ceilings and roofs and things like that in the sheds and in underground cellars and in sewers and in caves like spiders do. They have the extra long length from here to here, when they're fully grown, is short, and from here to here is very long. From here to here is short, from here to here is very long when they're grown.
Like a spider's.
Their hands are the same, they have extra length. This connection between it's the connection between the animal and the stolen human DNA. That's the big part, that extra length in their foot, that extra length in their hand, that extra length in their elbows or in their forearms. This is why their arms hang almost to their knees when they're fully grown.
Had multiple eggs and jaws.
So again, yes, they have jaws for tearing and piercing, so they eat the same way as a spider does.
And also, the Bigfoots were also that the first predator Bigfoots. You got to go through the Egyptian hieroglyph again, but they were they were unformed. And then whenever the spider ate more human DNA, the spider laid eggs, and that Bigfoot it was hatched. The first Bigfoots were hatched, not like us. They're not us. They're not like us. They came through the spider with that DNA, and then the more DNA of whatever they ate, the more they became. Just like the Bigfoots, the El Patones, now the more man-like has eaten more man. 3 generations to be that good, to look that well. And they also have that taste for man because they know the next one will be better. And it's about building a better predator. And they're taking Jones
The predator cosmic spider DNA is what has caused us to have all of these predators on Earth. This is why there are predator fish, predator plants, predator humans. When you hear in your mind spider, think enemy, is also known as the arrival of evil. Think adversary, enemy, the same thing that you would think of as the serpent in the Bible. You will see how these stories overlap. Look into that and pray about that. Research.
That they have multiple babies, not just one Bigfoot at a time. And just like the spider, when the Bigfoot reproduces, it has multiple babies, not just one. I mean, of course it can, but it produces more than one, just like any other animal, any other creature.
This is also why we have an instinctive fear of spiders. Most people from the beginning are terribly afraid of spiders. It's in us to be afraid of the land of serpent.
So the spider has no neck, different proportions. Also the fangs, fangs, teeth for eating and drinking blood.
Yeah.
The hair, the no medulla. This is not human. This is not man. This is a beast. This is a creature, a predator with spider DNA. Now, also, because the spider was eating everything when it first got here, this is the reason that El Patone, the Bigfoots have spider DNA, serpent DNA, bird DNA, fish DNA, goose DNA, ram DNA, dog DNA,
Stolen
elk
human
DNA, and stolen human DNA. This has all that in it.
when you think about now, think about all the words that are around us, the World Wide Web, networks. Think of all, pay attention in the next few days of all the spider references that you hear around you, that the internet. Pay attention to that, and you'll start noticing so many spider references. That is not by mistake. That is intentional, and it's almost a little big of hiding in plain sight.
Mm. The spider can't produce light. Bigfoots can't produce light. The Bigfoots hunt like spiders. They set their traps like spiders. Wherever your house is, that's the 0 point. Around it, you go around it. They've got traps. Every area that you can go out. Go further out, there's another circle. There's another trap, another trap, another trap, another trap. Go out further than that, there's another trap. Just like a spider, wherever you would run out of your house into the woods for safety, or trying to make it to town, that way to the next neighbor's house, is all set up with traps, just waiting for you. Just like a spider, that's all they do is make blinds, make traps, and wait for you. They're very patient, just like a spider. I would say that if they pull, we have to arm our God, watch for the fishing and swimming areas. People get pulled under.
Think also that of things like wolf spiders, jumping spiders. That's another thing. The Bigfoot attack, they are ambush predators like spiders. When they attack, they will go up and pounce. Those kind of predators pounce, just like a spider.
The Bigfoots also hunt in water. They hunt in streams, lakes, what we say natación or zona de pesca, the fishing and swimming areas. The Bigfoot is a cannibal, and will pull under people underwater, under the ground, to hold them under, to drink blood, and sometimes to release that body if people come looking. But if nobody comes looking, they keep it and they eat it. But when you're out there, always have the armor of God on. Once you put on the armor of God, you keep it on. There's no taking it off. There's no time to take it off so I can run to the store. Once you put that armor on, you keep it on. Always carry that armor with you. The armor de Dios, the armor of God.
Will you tell the story, please, of how you found out about Bigfoot, that you started out, that you were tracking the 5-foot spider?
Good question. When I first did my traveling back in it's been a long 2008, somewhere around there. I wanted to get more information. No one had the information, so I went to some of the world's best. I went to temples to read the hieroglyphs. I got special books that a lot of people had to work out to get to me. And so I knew through the hieroglyphs, through everything that we're showing you, that that there was large spiders here also. And so I was looking for a 5-foot spider in the mountains around here in the Tanisha area, caves and things like that, springs. I know they can hide underwater, they can live underwater, they can, like a bell spider, they can hold their own air. So I was looking for these indentions all over the place. I looked for holes, I looking for scrapes on the in the mountains and cave areas, around cave openings, on the top, wherever a small crevice was, because I know spiders can go as flat as, what they call flat spiders or flat tree spiders. They can go so small and they can slide through crevices and get into the den. So I was checking out, all the dark spots, all the places that I would not recommend anyone to do unless you knew about these things and knew where to look. So I'm looking for the 5-foot spider, and that's when I came upon the Bigfoots. But the
Pat says something in a little bit, because the closer we are to the computer, the better.
oh, okay. So I think we may just be on the. Let me try one more thing.
You see, when I put the cup down, they could hear that very well, so you know if the mic is halfway. That's the one that's working.
Okay, anybody hear us now? I've changed the settings real fast. We may be able to. You may be able to hear us better now. And I sure hope, because if we do, then I can take this off. I might have pushed the wrong button. I'm using the default now.
No, the tech support is typing.
Give us 1 second. We need to. But if not, I'm going to try the default. Maybe it will be.
We also talk about the letter M represents the spiders and about columns and other names for spiders.
Yes, the spider god, the Aztec sunstone, the sun god, or the second sun, is also called the god M. And if anybody will recognize this symbol, it's also a symbol.
And she just says the closer the better.
Again?
You might as well leave this out.
Okay, let me try one more thing.
Interesting.
Okay, we're going to try this one. Let's try that. It should just be on the default, but I don't know. But the letter M, the god M. Now M is also the 13th letter. Now the 13th letter go.
Better, less effort.
Okay, good.
Think of the symbol for McDonald's now.
So God M. The God M, and the M is the number 13 in the alphabet, which is in the medium. It's the middle. It's the middle. This is also giving a location away.
This is also the word used for someone who allows spirit communication to go through them, they are called mediums. We advise against that.
So also, we just talked about the north, about northwest, little 45-degree angle, little 45-degree angle. If you see that. A little 45-degree angle. And we just talked about that you will find this piercing. You will find this spider's piercing. Just by knowing that the spider is also called the god M. And that's the representation and the symbol for the god M, which is the spider, which is the 13th letter of the alphabet, which is in the middle, which is the medium, which is where you will find the spider. 12 o'clock, take a picture, that 45-degree angle just north of the North Star, just a little bit over. Take that picture at 12 o'clock daily, and you're going to get that picture. You're going to see this in the sky. It's going to be in one of your pictures. You're going to see it. And all this is true. All this is information. This is knowledge that you never had before. But it's also in the Bigfoot documentary DVD. It starts off with the Legend of Time story. If you understand what we just talked about, that you're going to see from the Legend of Time story how it takes off and how it gets to the Bigfoot, and how the hybrids also come from that.
The spiders of the ocean. Think of the octopus, and we have some photos of them that are translucent. This is when these type of things came to be. Look for I believe it's a TikTok video. Look for a girl puts octopus on face, and you can see the octopus is attacking her face, which she was foolish anyway, but it gives you an example of how they attack.
I don't know where a spider went to.
The one.
The spider went.
It should be right there with the sun.
I know.
Yeah.
It's going.
Look up when you get a chance, because we thought it was loaded, but we don't see it here right now. But look up translucent spiders. Look up flat spiders, invisible spiders, and you will be shocked.
So all these, the Bigfoots, they can be translucent, just like this Bigfoot. This is how you see them in the trees. Expect them in the trees. They like to go sideways like that. It gives that clear ripple. Expect them, expect them, expect them. This is what they look like. This is their translucent. This is what they look like. You will see them if you know what you're looking for. Just like the movie Predator. It's in the hieroglyphs. The Bigfoots are in the hieroglyphs. The spiders are in the hieroglyphs. You just got to know that's the appendage. That red appendage, that's the spider. You have to know that. Once you know that, you can move forward. It's the piercing. It's the piercing of earth. It's here.
And this is what allowed the water to flow in.
And this is what allowed the waters to flow in for the Great Flood, the first one, the Great Flood. There were more. But also, if you listen to the song, Itsy Bitsy Spider Went Up the Water Spout. Now, if your world, or our world, when our world was turned upside down and backwards, the water that was pierced is actually coming up. But for us, in our world, we thought it was coming down. But it was actually going up. So, the Itsy Bitsy Spider went up the water spout. But to us, it looked like it was coming down. Then out came the sun and washed the spider out or something. Because of the oxygen, the heat and everything, the spider.
Out came the rain and washed the spider
out. Out came the rain and washed the spider out. So at one time it was just like a suction too. But also, a lot of people will tell you about this in history, that the filament was so low that the trees, that everything was draped over. You could see a film over the trees. And we did have larger trees like the ones in Devil's Tower. There used to be a tree.
Oklahoma Adventures has a very good observation. The spider is in the Chanel logo.
Yes. The spider is that DNA. There's people who protect these spiders too. They protect Bigfoots. They use them. They help them. They let them feed. So be careful out there. But that connection between the spider and the Bigfoot is there. Just look at it. Just.
Would you explain how the spider, like would you please explain with your hands how the spider moves around a tree, like when you're, and the way a Bigfoot moves around a tree, when you go in one direction, it's circling around to avoid. You described that really.
Like, well, the spider, just like the Bigfoot, just like the walking wolf, whenever you're in the woods, it's going to be behind a tree. Just like we showed you. But whenever you walk, it's going to walk and keep that distance. If you're walking in the forest, it's going to keep that distance. Going back home, it's going to keep that distance. Anywhere around a tree, it's going to be like that. Also, if a car is going by and it's behind a tree, it's going by, it will walk almost at the same pace so that the car never sees it too. It does it with everything.
Look up legends of spiders and you will see that even in Vietnam, there are many stories both about the El Patón, the Bigfoot, and about giant spiders. In fact, all over the whole world, there are many, many stories about the giant spiders.
Yeah, the spiders go all the way back in history as far as you can go. Just a lot of people haven't been taught it. They haven't, and we've become accustomed to predators. When we see a hawk, we'll say, "Oh, that's a pretty hawk." No, that's a predator. Whenever there's just clothes around, you're like, "Oh, well, it's clothes," but people are used to predators, blue jays, all these predators. We're used to it. Don't get used to it. Get them out of your yard. Get those crows out of your trees. Get those ravens. Get them gone. Get those owls away from you. They're hunting. You think that when you see a hawk on the highway, that hawk's not there for you to look at. That hawk is up there hunting. It's looking for food, looking for something to eat. Doesn't care, it can't eat you, so it's not worried about that. It's looking for food. That's all it's doing. So, we established that connection. We showed you in the hieroglyphs where that connection is. giving the attributes, the characteristics, so that you know that they're the same thing. The Bigfoot is just a spider in a shell that looks like us to get closer to us, to feed upon us. They have a thirst and a craving for blood and flesh. They do have fears. Those fears are the fear of being found out, the fear of starvation, and the fear of losing its prey. And losing its prey is talking about the people that it stalks. It's got their times down. It's got their, when they go to the store, when they're coming home, who visits. That's their prey. They're stalking that prey. The fear of starvation. They're going to eat everything around you until they can get to you. As you've seen on one podcast with Lost Adventures or the Oklahoma Adventures, they were making their way up through every horse before they get to the owner of that horse. There's no food out there. But those fears you can use. Also, they are opportunists. You can use that. An opportunist will look for any opportunity. Since they've established your dates, times, routines, and schedules, because we didn't know not to do that. Now we do. Now you can use that also. When you take out the trash, if you take out the trash, then you can put some kind of glue on it. You can get DNA samples. You can pull out like a track trap. You'll clean out an area around your dumpster, around your windows, your bathroom. You can get prints. You can get confirmation. You can catch them if you have something strong enough to hold them. But also remember, there'll be more than one when you try something like that.
And spiders live underground. They love the dark. They live in the caves. They live in the holes. Think of trapdoor spiders. If you will watch the video with Oklahoma Adventures, you will see how they're trapped when we walk out there to, what's the name of that? When we walk at Tom's. At Tom's, when we walked in that video and showed the caves underground and the way the traps were laid out, it's very similar to the way spiders will also do.
So we showed you the connection. Even with Los Adventures or Oklahoma Adventures, as TrackerElla was saying, we showed you what their traps look like. They're in the embankments, in the ravines, how they can pull you down, when you walk over those traps, and you won't even see them. They've been laying those traps for a long time. Some of their dens are used and old, so it's going to look like a mound. It's going to have moss on it. It may even have trees growing out of it, but that's an underground tunnel cave system. You're walking on it. You may even have a picnic on it. But always remember, you're the upstairs neighbors. They hear you when you walk in. They hear you when you're talking. Human voices attract them. The more you talk out there, the more they're attracted. Now, if you're going out there careful, like a tracker, you can whisper and do things like that. If you're out there tracking these things, you don't talk at all. And actually, I want to show you this clip of another tracker who sent us another video. Let me show you real fast. This is another tracker that sent in. TrackerElla sent this in. So as you seen in that video are more experienced trackers. Like us, they don't talk out there when we're tracking. Now, whenever we did the video with Oklahoma Adventures, Las Venturas, it's okay for us to whisper and talk like that because we've already been, we were just checking some traps, and we let them know that we're going to check traps today for these Bigfoots, and you never know if they're still in there or if they've had a dry spell of all the food and they've moved on a little bit. And as you've seen in that, they have dug in. They have begun killing the livestock to eat now. And then it's just the people left after that. So, but as you've seen in that video sent in by TrackerElla, she wasn't speaking out there. She wasn't talking. She was listening. And we also got a report with that video that right after that, rocks and sticks were thrown at her.
And two big pine trees, she said.
Were thrown at her?
Logs, yes.
2 big pine logs were thrown at her. She backed out. She got a hold of some of her family members, and they're taking care of that problem right now. And that's also how you got to do it. You can't think that they're just going to walk away. You have to deter them. And you have to do your upkeep. You have to do it regularly. You have to check your blind spots. You have to, the video assessments, the remote assessments, you should be doing that every day. Like when we go out in the areas that we've been before, we know what to look for because we know that tree is there and that brush is right there. We know that that rock is there and that stump is there. Anything out of the ordinary, we go check out. And sometimes we actually shadow shoot. If we're not 100% sure, even with binoculars, if we're not 100% sure, we'll go ahead and shadow shoot. It's just to say if there's something laying in that shadow that we can't make sure, we'll know for sure in just a second.
And we know that this is our own property and there are no houses nearby. We safely shadow shoot.
Yeah. Yeah, everybody knows we're responsible. We don't do anything careless, but we do deter Bigfoots from not just our areas, but our friends' areas. And we've been doing it for a long time, and we've been getting great reports from other people that the techniques that we've been sharing. Also, they had the Bigfoot documentary that they have been deterring Bigfoots. Other neighbors are now getting the problem, but at least the people who are using these techniques talk with their neighbors, family members. They're all able to work together to get this problem out of their area. And if we can just get everybody doing the same thing, knowing that these things are real, knowing what to do, get the documentary, learn everything in that documentary, help us, become an honorary tracker, give us those reports, let us know what's going on in those areas, and then we can help other trackers by giving them the reports.
One more similarity that we haven't talked about is when they will pull their lines down, and sometimes if you step on a branch like this will alert them somewhere else. You see, if you push on this, it moves the rest of the tree. If you push here, this moves. Be careful when you're out there, when you're stepping over something, because you can let them know that you are in the area if you step on one of their triggers, one of their alarms. Like a spider, if you touch on the web, it bounces the whole thing, and they know to come attack.
How about this? Also, when you're in the forest, there's a lot of trees. Bigfoot's hiding in a lot of places. Another way you can do it is watch the top of the trees. We use this hand signal. We do this, and we point at whatever tree is moving. We do this out in the field. We're not talking. We just turn around and go. And that means one of the trees is moving. All these other trees are not moving, but this one tree is moving. Keep and pay attention to that. Be aware of everything. Like the DVD, the Bigfoot documentary, it tells you all that. It tells you what to look for. It shows you where to look for it. So you don't have to go into those places. We took Lost Ventures or Oklahoma Adventures safely into some places, and we want to share more places like that. We have to check out some more places for people who don't know any of this is even going on. That's the thing. We're helping people who don't know all this stuff is going around them, and we're like the ones who are going to make sure that they're pushed back, people are safe, and I guess something people just don't know.
We would like to remind you that parasites like chiggers, ticks, spiders, parasitic people, parasitic energies, those are all spider traits.
Mm-hmm.
All parasite traits of demonic activity, that's all parasitic. I don't know how to explain it.
Mm-hmm.
If someone would put up the word for parasite in Spanish for us, please.
So, what we want to do now is we're going to go ahead and say some more words of prayer, and we're going to be back in 2 more nights. This was the section on the spider and the Bigfoot, the DNA. Watch this again, share with some other researchers if they need it. Right now, we've got word that there's researchers trying to put all the evidence together to prove that what we're saying is right, although they're not saying we're the ones who are saying it. They're saying they're going to find out by trial and error to find out the truth, which the truth is what we're talking about is sharing. So all the tests that they're going to run, you're going to find out that we've already given you the answers here. You're going to find out that in every DNA test or sample, it's what we're saying right here. We've already told you. You just have to know it's the truth. So
we are very excited that more and more people are starting to see, open their mind up to those possibilities and pay attention.
And we're very happy for the new subscribers. We're going to translate this or the captions into Spanish as soon as this is concluded. I think that's how we do it. And then we'll be back here in about 2 more days. But don't hold us to that, because we may have to go and do a couple of things at the area where all this had happened. We want to help the people there get back in control of their areas.
Make sure that you like and subscribe and hit your notification bell so that you'll get a notification when our next live stream is. We'll pray. Thank you, Father, for all these people here. Thank you for this opportunity. Thank you for your protection. And we just, truly, Lord, we just love you, and we thank you for letting us be a part of this thing that is so much bigger than us. In the name of Jesus. Mm-hmm.
Okay, we want to let you know that in 2 days we'll be back-ish, 2-ish. The connection, the Bigfoot does have the spider DNA. It is a predator. Its only purpose is to eat and consume It's got every DNA mixture inside of it. Whatever it produces, whatever it eats, whatever it produces, has those attributes. Like the jumping spider, wolf spider, bell spider, bird spider, wolf spider, tree spider, all those things, the monkey spider, everything. Whatever that Bigfoot eats before it has an offspring will produce whatever it is, whether it's a walking wolf or a mothman or a chupacabra. We want to thank everybody for tonight. We're going to have this translated or the captions put on in Spanish. We will see you again in 2 nights-ish. But look at the attributes. Look at whatever you think a spider's attributes are. Match that up. You'll see it. It's in the Bigfoot DNA. It's not your friend. Friends taste good. Friends taste good. That's what it means when friend good. Or my friend. That means you belong to it. It's only to consume through physical and spiritual, because it will take both if it's given a chance.
Once you start looking at Bigfoot and comparing to a spider, you will not be able to unsee it.
We don't understand why people don't see it. It's right there in front of everybody.
Well, I didn't see it until you
Well,
pointed it out to me. Now I'm testing it and I'm going, oh my gosh, this matches, this matches, this matches. They really do. I was shocked when I put it, when I realized how close they are.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Okay, so
Thank you, guys.
everybody have a great night. We'll be back again. You know the DNA. You know the original predator DNA. It's in the Bigfoot. All the rest of the DNAs were consumed and mixed into it. So it's not human. It's not man. It can never be a ram. It can never be a fish. It can never be a man. It can never be a cow. It's just a configuration of everything together to be a better predator to consume more. So everybody have a great night. We'll see you in 2 nights-ish. And we'll have you soon. Muy pronto. We'll have more information and knowledge for you.
Lamont Cherie will end with this one question. Hi, Jerry and E. My question is, what is the end game for M? To eat and consume everything.
Yep, that's in the Aztec Sunstone with the flint tongue sticking out. That is to eat and consume everything.
The same as the devil, to steal, kill, and destroy.
Yeah. And the end game also has to do with the last man standing. Or if everyone are truth talkers, we don't get to the end game. Because the only way the end game is going to happen is if everyone's lying, cheating, stealing. Be a truth talker. Don't let us be the only ones out there. Be the truth talkers, gain that spiritual power, and teach as much as you can with everybody else. Share information. Let them know. Don't let anyone go blindly out there. If you know some information that will help somebody who wants to go research or camp or something like that, give them your information. Give them the DVD. If you've already bought the DVD, pass it on to somebody. Help somebody else.
And also listen to them. Let them talk. If they have experiences, let them talk and don't mock them.
Yep, they're sharing important information with you. We will see you again in 2 nights-ish. Everybody have a great night. We'll be back.
Thank you.
Thank you.